Five Nights at Friedrichs is one of the coolest Fnaf games of all time. I've had my eyes on this game ever since the trailer came out, and the full game definitely did not disappoint. The game has one of the coolest animations and art style I have ever seen, and it was made inside of the game engine Godot, which is different from your average Fnaf fan game made inside of ClickTeam. The demo came out almost 2 years ago, and now here we are in 2025 with the full release of it. The game was made by the developer Ryan, who is a new developer in the Fnaf industry to my knowledge. It stands out from normal Fnaf fan games with its 2D art style instead of the 3D horror mascot, not only focusing on visuals, but also having one of the hardest challenges to touch the planet. So now sit back and relax, as I take you on a deep dive to one of the best Fnaf fan games in the world and the history behind it. Hey you, why aren't you subscribed yet? After all, look at that subscribe count. It's so low, right? You should totally consider subscribing. But anyways, back to the video. Near the beginning of development, the game wasn't recognized by many people during its early development stages. It mainly got support on Twitter since it was first announced there. The interest of the game was very small until the release of the demo. It then started gaining way more attention from the Fnaf community, reaching big content creators like Dalco, FusionZ Gamer, and 8-Bit Ryan. With fans already hyped about the game, the full game definitely did not disappoint, having additional content like selectable night guards, achievements, minigames, challenges, and trophies. Fans praised the full game, enjoying the unique soundtrack, cutscenes, and post-game content, comparing it to a popular Fnaf fan game, One Night at Flumpty's, as Ryan said that game was used as inspiration for Friedrichs. However, not only was the gameplay enjoyable, the soundtrack was also top-notch, being side by side with Playtime with Percy in my opinion. But don't take my word for it, take a listen. Especially in the Night 5 boss battle with Golden Frederick, with people saying this is one of the best boss battles in Fnaf fan game history, including post-game content where fans could find secrets, complete challenges, and find Easter eggs having a shout to inside jokes from the community. Smaller details such as cutscenes and references to other games using the poster inside the office, which also give it a very nice touch. This game could be really challenging for the average Fnaf player, as some found the game to be almost impossible.
Oh my god. Oh my god. There you go. Freaking hell, Clara! This is gonna be insane.
With mainly Night 4 and 5 stated to be very difficult or too vague, especially with the mechanics involving the boss fight. Night 6 was no exception either, with a new character being added called Friedrichs, increasing the difficulty. So with the difficult gameplay with the main nights, it's no surprising that both of the max modes, 720 and 720 all challenges, are both the top 150 at the time of recording. Now that we have the history out of the way, let's get started with the gameplay. As soon as we open up the game, we are met with a newspaper. To summarize the newspaper, a new entertainment place called Friedrichs Pizza has opened and is taking the night guard position, which is every standard Fnaf fan game newspaper. After this, we learn inside of the office. The basic layout of the office is a door to our left and right. We get a little book to read in the office in order to replace the phone call. This book is titled Friedrichs Pizza Member Handbook Night Guard Edition. When you flip the book, you will find that there are no pages as they have been ripped out, and a sticky note telling you to turn to the back where all the mechanics are. The basic mechanics are always using the door lasers to fend off any threats, making sure you are always cooking pizza, and use the sprinkler during emergencies. And like every other Fnaf fan game, this game also uses a power system, which is if you run out of power, your run is over. Looking inside of the cameras, we have quite a few buttons scattered around certain ones. The first button you'll see, the sprinkler, is the sprinkler which delays the actions of all of the buttons by a few seconds. And on Cam 10, there is a laser button to seal off anyone who tries to enter. Cam 5 has the cook pizza button, and trust me when I say this, you will be using this all the time throughout the nights. And finally, Cam 3 has a spin wheel button, for which I'll explain later. On night 1, Bernardas Carnico, I hope I'm saying that right, will be active during this night. He will travel through cameras until he reaches your office. He could take 2 different pathways to the office with a 50% chance to pick a side, which is the dining area or Felix's casino. If he enters the dining area, he will go to the west hallway and attempt to enter the office. Once he reaches the office, he will stick his hand through the door before stepping inside. He will wait until you pull your cameras up or stare at him for a while before jump scaring you. In order to prevent him, you must use the lasers when you see his arm in the doorway. Bernard isn't the only character who activates this night. The Chica-like character named Clara das Kuchen activates alongside him. When she is activated, she will try and sabotage the player by moving to the kitchen camera, where she can be seen trying to cook a pizza. After some time, once the pizza is done cooking, she will try to cook it for a second time, making the kitchen set on fire. This fire will soon reach your office and raise the building temperature, forcing you to use the sprinkler in order to stop her. If the temperature is too high, she will soon jump scare you. In order to prevent her from reaching the kitchen at all, you must always have a pizza cooking, as using the sprinkler is something you want to prevent. A simple and easy night. However, this game gets harder fast. Now on to night 2, there are 2 animatronics activated during this night. One of the characters, Friedrichs, starts in his own camera kinda like Foxy in Fnaf 1. Depending on what his AI is, the player will have a determined number to see how many times they flip the camera before he comes running to your office. Once he is done running to your office, he will stand in the doorway, blocking your ability to use the lasers on that door. Clarified by Ryan, Felix loves the spinning wheel inside of his camera. So in order to prevent him from letting other animatronics inside, you must press the spin wheel button on his camera to send him back. The other animatronic that activates is Endoskelete, an inactive endoskeleton located in parts and service. He will enter the west or east hallway and shortly after make his way to the corresponding door. In order to send him away, you must use the door laser. He will then go back to the parts and service room or the supply closet, restarting his cycle, and he will attack from that side of the building the next time he comes around. If he manages to enter the office, he will permanently affect the power usage meter, preventing it from decreasing. Once the power usage reaches the max, you will be met with a jump scare. On night 3, the man himself, Friedrichs, will be active. He will start on the show stage, and if you didn't notice, he's actually bolted to the show stage. However, we are talking about the main character here, so he will leap inside the ventilation system. This man is really just him. While crawling through the vent camera, he will have 3 stages before reaching your office: far stage, mid stage, and close stage. When reaching the close stage, you must use the laser button on the vent camera to burn his head and send him back to the stage. If you fail to do this, he will reach your office and swing for some time before jump scaring you. Now on to night 4, you experience a power outage and must survive during the dark. There aren't any new characters on this night. However, this night is a huge jump from night 3, increasing the difficulty by a ton. I honestly did not expect this night to be that hard when jumping in it and took some L's myself. My tips for this night is to make sure you deal with the animatronics in a proper order. Like I would recommend prioritizing the door, then kitchen, then vent, then the wheel. Deal with the animatronics in this order, and when someone's not at a stage where they could attack you yet, just skip that step. As it's hard to see the door Bernard is at since you manually have to flash the door to see his hand, while Endoskeleton makes an audio cue letting you know he's there. On night 5, there will be a cutscene where an unknown animatronic enters the office and roars at you, causing your character Alan Fritter to be sent backwards and become trapped in a green tinted suit. This will soon cause you to be spring locked inside of the suit. This does not mean you died though, as at the start of night 5, Alan will be reborn through the suit and use his new abilities to defend himself against the new antagonist. He then soon reveals himself as Golden Friedrich. Golden Friedrich has 3 mechanics trying to enter the office as an attempt to kill you. He will add another way to kill you as time goes on, and you must finish your memory wipe. And the progress meter will be at the top of the screen for every hour that ended. At 12 AM, the camera interface will begin to flash purple, and you must find Golden Friedrich on the cameras in order for him to disappear. He will make a sound cue letting you know you must find him. If you fail to find him, then he will set the building on fire. At 1 AM, if he is heard laughing upon teleporting, he will be in either 2 doorways, and if not dealt with quickly, will result in a jump scare. He will be peering through either the left or right doorway in the office, requiring you to use the door laser. At 2 AM, Golden Friedrich can be found on the vent camera, requiring you to use the vent laser on him. You could tell if he's there from his laugh sounding louder. At 3 AM, if the audio begins to go deeper, you can find Golden Friedrich standing directly in front of you, requiring you to hit him on the head. If you fail to do this, this will result in a jump scare. At 4 AM, there is another blackout that happens. Nothing else to really say about this one. At 5 AM, you would notice that Golden Friedrich is way faster and the other animatronics don't show up anymore. After beating this night, a cutscene will play letting you know that your memory wipe has been completed. Then you will get shocked and fall to the ground. Golden Friedrich can be seen looking at your body for a while then laughing at you like you didn't just body him and teleport away. After a while, you can see Alan opening one eye then twitching, marking the end of 5 Nights at Friedrichs with credits popping up after. Thank you everybody, and I hope you enjoyed this video. is what I would say if this was not a FNAF fan game. Cause of course you have to have a 6th night with an extras menu and a custom night. On night 6, there is a new enemy for you to face. The enemy in question is this guy, Friedrichs, a Springtrap looking character. During this night, you are required to hold your mouse on top of him. He has 3 stages, and on his 3rd stage is when he becomes a threat. Once he reaches his 3rd stage, he will disable all mechanics involving power usage, like the fried pad, lasers, and other systems. Now that that's all over, time for your guys' favorite part of the video, the AI breakdown. I'm not only going to do an AI breakdown, I'm also going to give you a basic understanding of the game mechanically, and this is all given by Ryan himself. Yeah, the game developer. First, it's hard to see. Let's change this background, shall we? Much better. Like most FNAF games, AI values could be anything up to 0 to 20, with 0 being inactive and 20 being the hardest. The meaning of this value depends on the animatronic. In general, animatronics can only move in one of 2 ways. Normal movement. When a movement is triggered, they can play an exit animation, which is optional, show static on the camera for their current location and go location if applicable. This is where animatronics locations get updated, play an enter animation, which is also optional. The second way is warp movement, like what Golden Friedrichs does. When a movement is triggered, play warp out animation, move animatronic instantly with no static, play a warp in animation, and in case you haven't noticed, all animatronics are capable of warping, although they only do it in a couple of situations. One example is at the end of Night 4. All except Golden Friedrichs, animatronics get warped to the location none, which is basically deleted, or 2. Every new hour on Night 5, active animatronics that are deactivated get warped back to their starting locations. Most animatronics have movement timers, similar to the classic FNAF games. As you probably know, the basic format is that every X seconds, animatronics will have an AI/20 chance of moving. There is a very funny quirk that maximum players hate regarding movement timers. The moment an animatronic is triggered to move, their movement timer resets. However, the timer continues counting down during their movement animation and camera static. This effectively shaves about a second off of the animatronic's idle period for their next move, but you won't notice this in normal gameplay. It only really becomes an issue in 720 Demo Sprinkler when you have reportedly only 54 frames to react to Bernard in the doorway. The movement timer does get paused when animatronics are stunned/repelled, for example, lasers, wheel spins, pizza cooks, and punches. Lastly, just for reference, these are the possible locations an animatronic can be, with none being an animatronic will not appear, but is still considered active. And now for power usage values. Power usage calculation is a little complicated, but borrows a lot from the original FNAF 1. You have 100.0 total power, and every second you lose 0.13 times U power, where U is your power usage. Starting on Night 2, you lose an additional 0.13 power every 8 seconds, where A is an arbitrary value that increases each night. Usage works differently from FNAF 1, moving more gradually. Usage can be anywhere between 1 and 5 bars, and using a door or vent laser adds 1 bar immediately. Using the cameras will gradually add 1 bar of usage every S seconds. S is determined by the night. The usage bar will always drain at a rate of 1 bar per second. With that in mind, here are the values for each night. Now for power failure. When power runs out, all animatronics get set to 20 AI. This excludes Golden Friedrichs on nights 1 through 6, and Friedrichs on nights 1 through 5. Time to explain the fires. A fire can be started in any room thanks to Golden Friedrichs, but it will only usually be started in the kitchen. When a fire is started, temperature will increase by 1 degree every 0.2 seconds. A fire will only be visible in its source room, which is usually the kitchen. At 100 degrees, all rooms will appear on fire. At 120 degrees, your cameras and lasers will stop functioning. At 150 degrees, you would be killed by Clara. Side note, if Golden Friedrichs is active and Clara is not, he will kill you instead. The sprinkler instantly puts out all fires and decreases the temperature by 1 degree every 0.2 seconds. When there is no fire and the sprinkler isn't running, temperature decreases by 1 degree every second. Clicking the sprinkler button activates the sprinkler, and when activated, the sprinkler will stay on for 6 seconds before shutting itself off. After this, it will stay off for 11 seconds before you can use it again. When the sprinkler is on, your water log meter will fill at a rate of 15% per second. When off, your water log meter will drain at a rate of 1.25% per second. As you know, the water log causes your lasers, pizza cooker, and wheel spinner to have a short delay. And from 0% to 40% there is no delay. From 40 to 80% there is a 0.5 second delay. Between 80 and 100% there is a 1 second delay. With perma sprinkler enabled, the sprinkler is always on and increasing the moisture. However, it also adds a drain button, which removes 100% from the moisture meter in 1 second. Finally, there is the demo sprinkler challenge. This removes the waterlogging mechanic entirely and instead makes all animatronic move timers tick twice as fast. It also makes Friedrichs agitated twice as fast too. Time for the animatronic breakdowns. First is Friedrich. Friedrich starts on the show stage, and every 5 seconds he has a AI/20 chance to move. All animatronics, including Friedrich, store a location to determine how and where they will appear. However, Friedrich is unique in that he also stores a secondary location, used for when his legs appear on a different camera. In addition to this, Friedrich also stores an internal progress value, mainly used to determine how far along in the event he is. With these values in mind, here is a breakdown of Friedrich's move path. Progress 3 is when you're able to zap Friedrich, and Progress 4 is when he's entered the office, which means you're cooked. Worth noting that you're actually able to zap Friedrich during the stack between Progress 2 and 3, and during his exit animation between Progress 3 and 4, given a pretty big grace period for zapping Friedrich. Invisible Friedrich behaves identically to Friedrich, except that his starting location is set to none, and that he is always locked to 20 AI. He only appears when everyone is turned off. Bernard starts on the show stage, and every 5 seconds he has an AI/20% chance to move. Bernard will always take the fastest route to your office, meaning you can usually predict what door he will end up at. Here's the map of his movement. Bernard has a 50% chance of playing a stomped audio cue when moving. He'll play a quieter cue when moving to Felix's arcade and dining area, and a louder cue when moving to the East or West Hall. But he is completely silent when moving from the halls to the doors. When zapped by the lasers, Bernard has a random chance to end up to any realm, except for the vent. Bernard will also kill you after 30 seconds of being in the office, regardless of his AI. This timer does get reset when you lift up the cameras, meaning you could theoretically stall him in the office forever, which really isn't recommended. If Bernard moves to East or West door while Felix is in the same door, he will yank Felix out of the way before entering. This completely deletes Felix from the night. His location doesn't get set to none though, he literally gets deleted. This is the only case in the entire game when an animatronic gets deleted. Clara starts on the show stage. Her movement timer is paused when a pizza is cooking. Otherwise, after 5 seconds, she will move into the kitchen, regardless of her AI. While in the kitchen, her move timer drops to every 3 seconds. Every 3 seconds, her cooking animation changes, and she has an AI/20 chance of starting a fire. Cooking a pizza will instantly remove her from the kitchen. The length of how long a pizza cooks depends on her AI. The formula is 25 minus AI. For example, if her AI is 20, then it'll take her 5 seconds for the pizza to cook. She has 3 possible cooking animations, and 3 other kitchen animations if there is a fire. She also has a 1 out of 50% chance of doing a unique idle animation if alone on the stage, where she opens her mouth. Mad Clara is identical to normal Clara, except instead of starting a fire, she'll just kill you. Felix starts in Felix's arcade, and has no move timer. Instead, he will enter your office after raising the camera X number of times. The flips required for Felix to enter are 23 minus AI, so if his AI is for example 20, it will take a total of 3 flips for him to enter the office. When Felix is triggered, he will instantly run to the door. If Endoskelete is active, Felix will always pick the opposite door from him. Otherwise, if Bernard is in the office blocking the door, Felix will always appear on the opposite side from him. If nothing else, Felix will pick a random door. You can hear Felix's steps coming to you while you have the cameras up, but he won't actually enter the office until the cameras are down. If he plays the enter animation into your office, he will also play an exit animation when you repel him. However, if you repel him before dropping the camera, he will not play his enter or exit animation, so it's technically faster. Side note, when Bernard is in Felix's arcade, Felix will play a unique animation where he looks at Bernard. Lastly, there are 3 possible positions the wheel can be when it is stopped. This position is synced between the Felix arcade cam and the West Hall cam. Endoskelete starts in parts and service. He has an AI/20 chance of moving every 5 seconds. Endoskelete can always appear in the bottom half of the map. His routes are parts and service, East Hall, East Door, then the office. or supply closet, west hall, west door, and the office. Unlike Bernard, Endoskeleton can't enter the office while the cameras are up. When first reaching the door, he gives a 3-second grace period where he cannot enter. After that, he will check if the cameras are up every 0.5 seconds and enter if it is, regardless of his AI. Once he's in the office, the guy under the desk will disappear. Endoskeleton's audio will now play in both ears, and you'll see a little icon next to the usage bar. Your usage will also no longer decrease. Once your usage hits 5 bars, Endoskeleton will kill you. Lastly, Endoskeleton will play a slightly different animation when zapped if Bernard is also at the door. Buckle up, because this is going to be a long breakdown for Golden Friedrich, because he has a different behavior on night 4 and 5. Golden Friedrich stays in a hiding state, where his location is set to none. When an attack is triggered, he enters the warping state, where he warps to 4 cameras rapidly at random. Then he will warp one final time, activating his attack state. His possible attack states depend on the night. Every time Golden Friedrich warps, the sound effect that plays can clue you on his location. He has a unique stun animation when zapped in the door while Bernard is there, and when sharing the vent in stage 3 with Friedrich. During night 4, Golden Friedrich's only possible attack state this night is a unique night 4 state. Starting at 3 AM, Golden Friedrich will begin quietly warping around the building, disabling cameras. Every 15 seconds, he will warp to a random camera. He will then disable it shortly after and disappear. The selected camera will be random, with one important exception. The last 3 cameras will always be in this order, of Felix's arcade, kitchen, and the vent. Fun fact, when Golden Friedrich appears in the vent on night 4, you can zap him. It doesn't change anything, it's just funny. Now for all the times at night 5. Starting at 12 AM, Golden Friedrich will attack after 5 seconds, and only has one possible attack state, which is random room. This will warp him to a random non-vent camera. The camera will flash purple when he is active on the camera as said earlier. You have 5 seconds to find him and look at him. You only have to look at him for a frame, and it still counts if you click away before he has a chance to warp away. If you don't find him in this time, he starts a fire on his camera. Also, side note, if Golden Friedrich is active and Clara's AI is 0, Golden Friedrich will kill you at 150 degrees instead of Clara. This is true on the custom night too. At 1 AM, Golden Friedrich's attack timer gets decreased to 4 seconds, and he gets another possible attack in his pool, which are the doors. His next attack is also guaranteed to be the doors. This will warp him to either the east or west door, playing a laugh sound panning to the side he's on. You have 5 seconds to zap him with the laser, or else he kills you. At 2 AM, Golden Friedrich's attack timer gets decreased to 3 seconds, and he gets another possible attack in his pool, which are the vents. His next attack is also guaranteed to be the vent. This will warp him to the vent, playing a laugh sound and a distorted version of Friedrich's vent sound. You have 5 seconds to zap him with the laser, or else he kills you. At 3 AM, Golden Friedrich's attack time gets decreased to 2 seconds. This removes random room from his possible attacks and adds Office Punch. His next attack is also guaranteed to be the Office Punch. This warps him right into the office. While in the office, the audio will fade out into a disordered ambience, and the visuals will get highly saturated. You have 5 seconds to click his face and punch him out of the office, or else he will kill you. There are 3 possible positions he can be in when he enters the office. At 4 AM, Golden Friedrich's attack timer gets decreased to 1 second. His next attack is guaranteed to be a one-time attack. This attack is called Office Light Bulb. This causes him to warp into the office and shut off the light bulb, enabling low power mode. But don't worry, this only lasts until 5 AM. And at 5 AM, Golden Friedrich's attack timer gets decreased to 0 seconds, which means he will attack again the instant you repel him. His next attack is guaranteed to be a one-time attack, which is Office Fire. This causes him to start a fire directly in the office. On Custom Night, Golden Friedrich's attack timer is always 5. He has an AI/20 chance of starting an attack every 5 seconds. He can only do any attack from the pool of random room, doors, vent, and office punch. There are a few small differences from night 5. For random room, you have 7 seconds to find him on the cameras instead of 5. If you fail to find him for a random room with perma sprinkler enabled, he will max out your usage bar to 5 instead of starting a fire. And his warp sounds are slightly louder. The time for Friedrich to reach max agitation is calculated by 300 divided by AI times 2. The time to decrease his agitation back to 0 is 300 divided by AI times 5. But yeah, that's all for his AI breakdown. Now with that all out of the way, here is the AIs of every animatronic during each night.
Now that all the AI breakdowns are done, let me change the background again. Now guys, I actually haven't beaten the maximum yet, but not to worry, Pm.Serk, aka the verifier for this mode, will be taking over this part of the video. Now, take it away.
Okay, so, hey, I'm Serk. I'm also called Pm.Serk, whatever, I don't care. This is for a Friedrichs breakdown, and this is involving the custom night. I'm one of the most experienced players with the custom night, because I'm also playing stuff like Demo Sprinkler, like that. So I'm just going to explain a few things for like strats you would use for just normal 720 and 720 odd challenges. So just getting straight into it. So the way I do it is the night revolves around a cycle of sorts. Well, it is a cycle. So basically, there's 3 pieces to it. There's normal flips, Felix and pizza flips, and Friedrich and pizza flips. And the first one was a pizza flip as well. It would repeat in an order of pizza flip, Felix and pizza, Friedrich and pizza, and then you'd repeat that for the whole night. The pizza takes 5 seconds from when you press it to ding again, which means you have to cook it again. Friedrich moves around every 5 seconds as well, as you can hear by the sound cues. I do recommend turning on the Night 5 music because it's sick as but also it makes Friedrich's vent sounds much louder than they normally would be without the Night 5 music. So it is actually a benefit. Like, the cycle is on 5-second things, so it's on a 15-second each time for each part of the cycle, and you'd repeat that throughout the whole night. Sometimes you can desync it, but you can sync it up really nicely and fix it really well. You can avoid Felix on other things, other cycles. It's really savable if you do mess up somewhere, and there's quite a lot of leniency. Golden Friedrich, you can sync up with the cycle as well. The main issue with this is you just want to be not extremely fast, of course, but you do want to be fast and know which cycle you're on. So you want to have good memory of which part of the cycle you're on, as well as knowing who needs to be dealt with, what stage Friedrich is at, all of that stuff. Also, in case Golden Friedrich goes to a cam, that's really important, because he won't laugh, so you'll have to just try to remember which side he teleports to last, and then just barrage that entire side of the cams as fast as you can, because on strict the power usage is extremely tight, so you get around 2.6 to 2 seconds in cams if it's not a Friedrich flip. Start of the night, you want to just flip up, cook a pizza, flip down, and then after that you want to flip up again, flip down straight away. That syncs up Felix nicely, because you'd hear the pizza cook, you flip up, get the pizza, get Felix, and then flip down the cams again. After that, you'd probably have to deal with Endo, if I remember, and then Golden Friedrich as well. Or Golden Friedrich is before that flip, I can't quite remember there. And then, after you do that, you'll hear the pizza cook again, but you wouldn't go immediately, since you have to wait for Friedrich to move to the front position of the vent so you can zap him. So you'd wait for that final sound cue, zap Friedrich, cook the pizza, flip down. Bernard is going to be at either one of your doors, so you want to be quite quick with that one. Golden Friedrich can sometimes go to the vent cam, but he is really lenient since he does have a 5-second kill timer from when he teleports. So it's very savable. You can do lots of stuff to work around it. You can put him onto the next flip if you just flip down, but you can just go up a bit earlier. It's all really adjustable. You can make so many adjustments to the cycle while in the actual night. It's so flexible with the cycle. Some people play reactionary and then say it's RNG. It really isn't. The only they say Felix is RNG, he's not. He appears every 3 flips. That's really important. On 720 all challenges, you do want to be very aware of the sprinkler, since it has a input delay mechanic if the water log is too high. So what you want to do there is you want to keep swapping between holding down the drain and holding down Friedrichs, and keep swapping between the two. Mainly getting out of cams or when you need to zap the doors, you want to hold down the drain, but apart from that you can just hold down on Friedrichs, keep looking at both of the doorways since low power mode. It's really the main character that would be frustrating there is Bernard, since he has like only a bit of his hand showing. So you want to be quite vigilant of the doors and aware. Be aware of Golden Friedrich, that's always useful. Knowing if he's at a door, if he's at the vent, or if he's gone to one of the cameras. He has 5 different teleport sounds, but you don't really need to pay attention to, like, the exact sound. Just pay attention to the side it comes from. Sometimes you won't see him on the side, so most of the time he'd be in the top part, the top camera where the stage is. So just be very aware, know what to do, try not to mess it up as much as you can, because it is quite lenient, like I've said like 500 times. You really want to find Golden Friedrich as much as possible, since he does lock you out of the cams by maxing the power on low power mode. But that's pretty much it. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else I can say, unless we're going to talk about Demo Sprinkler. I'll say a bit about Demo Sprinkler, why not? So basically, Demo Sprinkler, Jesus Christ, it's like actually up. I still haven't beaten it.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. If you haven't beaten the mode, then don't say how to beat it if you haven't beat it. Whoa, next clip, next clip. During this video, there are a couple of things that I didn't cover, such as the achievements, some Easter eggs, and well, Demo Sprinkler. The reason I didn't do this is mainly because most achievements are either secrets or challenges, ruining the point of achievements in general. I'm still working on beating both modes in order for my new PB. And I just want to say thank you so much Ryan and Pm.Serk for giving me the information for this video. Both of their channels will be in the link in the description, and I highly recommend you to subscribe to them. And I thank you very much for watching this video, as more videos like these will be coming in the future, alongside some more max mode completions. Now, once again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.